The second time around, a Southern mulligan for Hillary Clinton, and a familiar face wants to create a new image for the GOP and himself. This is Special Report. Good evening. Welcome to Washington. I'm Brett Baer. A couple of former presidential contenders are making it clear tonight they are back for more. Hillary Clinton is once again in South Carolina, where her 2008 campaign went really south. And Rick Santorum, who started hot in 2012 but flamed out, will try to set himself apart from an already crowded social conservative field. We have Fox team coverage tonight. Carl Cameron's in Pennsylvania with the Santorum launch. But we begin with Chief White House correspondent Ed Henry covering the Clinton campaign in Columbia, South Carolina. Hi, Ed.
Good evening, Brett. Hillary Clinton turned on a Southern accent today to try to woo African-American voters here, still sour about a racially divisive primary back in 2008 by saying she's moved on. But the question now is whether new Clinton Foundation problems will block her a second time. Hillary Clinton today returned to the scene of perhaps her most humiliating defeat in 2008, a 29-point drubbing at the hands of Barack Obama.
Welcome to South Carolina.
The return visit came as the State Department reversed course, and after initially saying it could not release more of Clinton's official emails until January, the department revealed that under pressure from a federal judge, it will now make public the next batch on June 30th, and then release more every 60 days, a reminder of the political minefield ahead, as she tried to shift the focus to equal pay, chatting up women at a chicken and waffle shop, and then joking she'll age better than a male president.
I've been coloring my hair for years. You're not going to see me turn white in the White House.
Except here in South Carolina, Clinton was shadowed by Carly Fiorina, the only Republican woman running for president, who crashed the hotel where Clinton was speaking for a sidewalk news conference highlighting Clinton's reluctance to face questions and making the case the eventual Republican nominee and the press need to keep the heat on Hillary and Bill Clinton's personal dealings.
I hope you will continue to be as aggressive with Mrs. Clinton wherever she is on this street corner. But yes, I think we need a nominee who will ask her these questions about trustworthiness, about transparency, and about track record.
Those questions now include a report by the International Business Times that foreign countries which donated to the Clinton Foundation sealed major weapons deals while Clinton was Secretary of State. $165 billion in arms sales approved by state to 20 countries that contributed to the foundation, plus another $151 billion in arms deals brokered by the Pentagon, but authorized by state and benefiting 16 nations that gave to that foundation. This comes after it was revealed Bill Clinton set up a Delaware corporation as a pass-through for consulting fees.
It took the Associated Press to find out that Bill Clinton had apparently set up some kind of shell foundation to funnel some kind of money through.
Now, the former president's office today said this is a commonly used mechanism, and anyone trying to make more of it is playing politics. Brett?
Ed Henry in Columbia, South Carolina with the Clinton campaign. Ed, thanks. Rick Santorum started out his 2012 campaign by winning the Iowa caucuses, but he failed to capture the big prize. Chief political correspondent Carl Cameron tells us Santorum is back and he has plenty of company. Hi, Carl.
Hi, Brad. Well, it wasn't just the Iowa caucuses. He won a total of 11 states and was essentially the runner-up in 2012. So now he thinks it's his turn in 2016.
I am running for President of the United States.
Toward the end of the former Pennsylvania Senator's 2012 run in his trademark sweater vest, he embraced a blue-collar populism focused on middle-class working folks as a contrast to Mitt Romney, whom Democrats defined as an out-of-touch millionaire beholden to corporate America. Both Romney and John McCain won their presidential nominations on their second try, and Santorum hopes his second try is a charm too, and has made economic populism central to his domestic pitch.
Their priorities are profits and power. My priority is you, the American worker.
Santorum supports raising the minimum wage, a rare position in the GOP field, crowded with social conservative candidates who are competing with Santorum for the same traditional values voters. Billionaire donor Foster Friess, who supported Santorum in 2012, is back for a second round. On foreign policy, he's a ferocious critic of the president with a clear approach to ISIS.
Here's my suggestion. We load up our bombers and we bombed them back to the 7th century.
Jeb Bush and Rick Perry have suggested Obama created ISIS by withdrawing U.S. forces from Iraq in 2011. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul vehemently disagrees and blames his own party.
ISIS exists and grew stronger because of the hawks in our party who gave arms indiscriminately, and most of those arms were snatched up by ISIS. These hawks also wanted to bomb Assad, which would have made ISIS's job even easier. They created these people.
South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham says that type of rhetoric is why Paul should never be president. Today, Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal weighed in on Paul as well.
I think the senator is unsuited to be commander-in-chief. We can't afford 4 more years of a misunderstanding of the threat.
New Jersey Governor Chris Christie argues that being a lawmaker is insufficient job training. Santorum spent 2 terms in both the U.S. House and then the Senate.
The next president of the United States, if we want it to be a successful presidency, needs to be a governor.
Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker boasts he can win anywhere except perhaps Florida, suggesting he might skip it.
I don't think there's a state out there we wouldn't play in. I mean, other than maybe Florida, where Jeb Bush, Marco Rubio are.
A lot of candidates ahead of Rick Santorum. He is running 10th in an average of recent national polls and 10th in the early voting states like Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina. And in the next week and a half, too, 3 more candidates are going to be getting into the race. Lindsey Graham, Rick Perry, and by the time it's all done, we'll also be hearing from New York Governor George Pataki, who tomorrow will be declaring his candidacy official, Brad.
Not to mention John Kasich and a couple more. Get ready. Carl, thanks. More rain today in Houston, complicating the cleanup after a long holiday weekend of storms and floods left at least 19 people dead there. Crews resumed the search for 11 people missing and presumed dead after a river surged through the small tourist town of Wimberley. Meanwhile, near Midlothian, southwest of Dallas, worries about the possible breaking of a dam have subsided. Police say water was still coming over the earthen dam at Padera Lake this morning, but that volume had decreased after days of heavy rain. The Pentagon says it inadvertently shipped live anthrax spores to as many as 9 laboratories across the country. The spores were shipped from Dugway Proving Ground in Utah to government and commercial labs in Texas, Maryland, Wisconsin, Delaware, New Jersey, Tennessee, New York, California, and Virginia. The labs were supposed to receive dead or inactivated samples for research. The CDC says it's investigating. A spokeswoman says the agency does not suspect any risk to the general public, but 4 lab workers have been prescribed medication after possibly being exposed. Serious trouble tonight for much of President Obama's second-term agenda. His immigration reform executive action has once again been blocked in court. And correspondent Kevin Cork tells us there could be rough sailing ahead for other signature issues.
Yesterday's immigration ruling by the Fifth Circuit Court is just the latest in a series of legal challenges to the president's major legacy items, from the fight over executive action on immigration to whether the government can subsidize health insurance in states that didn't set up their own exchanges, if states that ban gay marriage violate a couple's constitutional right, and whether the EPA's crackdown on coal power plant emissions was unduly costly. Critics say the #1 reason the president's plans are in peril is his go-it-alone attitude.
Rather than working with Congress to pass laws on all these issues, he acts unilaterally, and that's why we end up in court, because he's acting far beyond his power and authority.
The actions I'm taking are not only lawful, they're the kinds of actions taken by every single Republican president and every single Democratic president for the past half-century.
Back in November, the president boldly declared his intention to wade into the deep divide over immigration reform. But that mission ran aground with yesterday's decision that refused to let the administration proceed with its plan to defer deportations for millions of undocumented immigrants. Analysts say there are increasing doubts about whether the initiatives can withstand legal scrutiny, and if the Supreme Court rules in each, how that could go a long way in determining the Obama legacy.
What it does to his legacy is, well, I mean, this is pretty dangerous for him, because he sought the fundamental transformation of the nation through these policies, but he might not have much of a legacy left if the courts continue to shred it.
It was a prodigious victory for the 26 states who challenged the president's immigration action, and a huge defeat for a White House that repeatedly has worked around lawmakers in order to enact its policy agenda. On Capitol Hill, Speaker John Boehner said House Republicans are leading the fight to rein in President Obama's executive overreach and uphold our Constitution, while Illinois Congressman Luis Gutierrez vowed to keep up the fight for reform, saying, It is disappointing, but not unexpected, given the makeup of the Fifth Circuit and the panel hearing this preliminary case. The Justice Department will not seek a stay from the Supreme Court on that ruling out of the Fifth Circuit on immigration. As for the president, all this legal wrangling is not keeping him down. No, he's very busy raising money, attending yet another fundraiser, this time tonight in Florida. Brett?
Kevin Cork, live on the North Lawn. Kevin, thank you. With the president's 2 fundraisers today, his total will stand at 435. That's according to CBS Radio's Mark Knoller. 435 fundraisers he's attended while president. President George W. Bush had 307 fundraisers at this same juncture in his administration. Up next, American military pilots say the Washington bureaucrats need to get out of their way in the war on ISIS. First, here's what some of our Fox affiliates around the country are covering tonight. Fox 26 in California's Central Valley, where someone stole a very special coat from the mother of a Marine killed in Afghanistan. Rosalia Verbeek and other such moms call themselves Gold Star mothers. They have a special jacket. Memorial Day, a thief took hers from her car. She says she'll buy the robber a new coat if he brings hers back. Fox 5 in New York as actor-comedian Tracy Morgan settles his lawsuit against Walmart over a highway crash that killed one man and left Morgan and 2 friends seriously injured. Neither side is revealing the terms of that deal. Walmart truck slammed into a limo van carrying Morgan and the others last June. The truck driver faces several criminal charges. And this is a live look at New Orleans from our affiliate Fox 8. The big story in the Big Easy tonight, a below-average hurricane season. NOAA predicts just 3 to 6 hurricanes this summer, with no more than 2 of them major. That's tonight's live look outside the Beltway from Special Report. We'll be right back.